A title is like a heavy coat. Anyone with money can buy it and put it on. But a king? A king is like the skin on your body. You are born with it. It grows with you. And no amount of gold can buy it. This is the story of Udi, a kingdom that tried to bribe the gods. In the red lands of Udi, where the palm oil flows thick and the soil is fertile, there was a wall. It was not built of stone or mud. It was a wall of blood. On one side stood the freeborn, high and mighty. On the other side stood the Ohu, the descendants of slaves, who walked with their eyes on the ground. Prince Obinna was the son of the soil. He was a man who did not look at a person's clothes to know their value. While other royals walked with their noses in the clouds, Obinna walked with the people. The king and queen, his parents, looked at their son and saw a future of wealth. They looked at Chief Ikem, the richest man in the land. Chief Ikem, a man who owned more yam bands than he could count. He was a man who believed that if a door was locked, you did not need a key. You only needed to throw a bag of money at it and it would open. He had a daughter, Ugo. Ugo was beautiful, yes. Her skin was polished like ebony. But her heart was a dry leaf. She spoke to elders as if they were children. She treated servants as if they were goats. The king said, Obinna, Ugo is your wife. Her father's gold will make our kingdom unshakable. But Obinna had eyes that saw into the spirit. He did not want the loud beauty of Ugo. His heart had settled on Adanna. Adanna was an Uhu, the descendant of the slaves. She had no gold, she had no shoes, but when she carried her water pot from the stream, she moved with a grace that the wind was jealous of. When she laughed, the birds stopped to listen. She was pure like the first water from the spring. She was not loud, but her silence was full of peace. Obinna saw her. He did not see her a slave. He saw her a woman whose spirit was taller than a mountain. He saw her not as a slave, but as a queen without a crown. But when a hyena sees a lion eating, it gets angry not because it is hungry, but because it wants to be the lion. When Ugo heard that the prince had fell in love with a slave girl instead of her, the madness in her blood rose up. She ran to her father, Chief Ikem, screaming like a hyena caught in a trap. Papa, a slave? The prince, he chooses a slave over me? Chief Ikem laughed. It was a cold laugh. Do not worry, my daughter. Money has a louder voice than love. They did not fight with swords. They fought with shame. Chief Ikem paid the palace guards. On a bright market day, when Adanna was selling her small tray of peppers, the guards descended. They kicked her tray. They scattered her peppers into the dust. They beat her in the open square while Ugo stood afar laughing behind guards fanning her. They wanted to break her spirit so the prince would see she was nothing. But news traveled faster than the wind. When Prince Obinna heard the news, he did not ask for advice. He flew to Chief Ikem's compound. The prince spoke, and his voice was like thunder trapped in a bottle. He pointed a shaking finger at the chief and his daughter. You think your gold makes you gods? Today you have shown that a pig wearing a necklace is still a pig. But alas, word reached King Ezeoja. The king was furious. You insult the richest chief for a nobody? A slave? King Ezeoja sat on his throne, his face hard as stone. Obinna, listen to me. Marry Ugo or leave this palace. If you walk out that door, you are no longer my son. You are a nobody. You will have no name, no land, no crown. The palace went silent. The air was heavy. Prince Obinna looked at his father. He looked at the royal beads on his neck. He looked at Adanna, who was weeping silently by his side. He took off the beads. he dropped them on a hard floor. "So be it," Obinna said. He took Adanna's hand. He did not look back. They walked out of the palace and into the deep wild forest leading to a neighboring village. If you are enjoying the story of Obinna and Adanna's sacrifice, please like, leave a comment, and follow or subscribe. I'd love to tell you how the gods judged this case. Seasons passed. The rains came, the sun dried the earth. The old king joined his ancestors in the land of spirits. Chaos, confusion. Who will sit on the throne? The prince is gone. The elders' council was confused. Who would rule? Chief Ikem stepped forward. He did not bring wisdom. He brought bags of cowries. He brought yams. He brought goats. And he whispered to the elders, "The prince is a traitor. I am the richest. I am the strongest. The crown fits me." Hunger makes men blind. The elders agreed. The coronation day came. The village square was full. Drums were beating. Chief Ikem wore the royal robes. He climbed the steps to the throne. He smiled a smile of victory. He thought he had bought the world. One of the elders reached for the crown, the heavy, ancient crown of Udi. He lifted it. He placed it on his head. A sound like the cracking of the sky tore through the village. There was no rain, there was no cloud, but a single bolt of lightning, red and angry, struck the throne. The people screamed and fell to the ground. When the smoke cleared, the throne was there, the crown was there, but Chief Ikem, he was a pile of grey ash. The gods do not take bribes. Panic seized the land. The people were running, but the Dibia, the oldest wise man, stepped out. He raised his staff. "Stop!" he cried. "You cannot put the head of a goat in the helmet of a lion. The crown knows its owner. As long as the true heir breathes, this throne will eat anyone else who sits on it." The elders, shaking with fear, sent the fastest guard to the neighboring village where the prince has settled. "Find Obinna, beg him, tell him we are wrong." They found him. He was not wearing silt. He was working the soil, his hands dirty, his heart light. Adanna was by his side, working with him. They begged him to return. Obinna looked at Adanna. She nodded. They did not return for the power. They returned to save their people from the anger of the gods. Obinna was crowned king, and Adanna, the girl they beat in the market, the girl they called a slave, she sat on the throne beside him as the queen of Udi. Her kindness healed the land, and the people learnt a lesson that is written in the red earth of Udi till this day. A title is given by men, but royalty is chosen by the gods. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. I want to say a huge thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you found this story interesting, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. Your support means the world to me and helps this channel grow every day. I'm curious, what was your favorite part of the story? Let me know below. Until next time, take care of yourself and have a wonderful day.